masaibu ya barabara. It can be a tough stretch on our Kenyan roads, but in time things are going to be shambamba. But our trend of the day is champion. And what makes you a champion? While your posts continue to stream in, our next guest started out as an amateur boxer. Playing to win in the sweet science. And boxing calls for discipline, it calls for sacrifice, it calls for hard work. It also does entail a little bit of pain. Okay, a lot of pain. But when you put all of this in, there's also glory. And using these same principles in other areas of his life with great success, David Waweru is here on AM Live with a story to tell and a book to share on being a champion.
David Waweru, and I am a publisher. I've been in publishing the last 21 years, and I'm involved with Wadala Youth Publishers. Well, the beauty of the new book Champion is that it traces my teenage years when, as young people in the outskirts of Nairobi, we were inspired by one of the greatest boxers of those days in the 1980s, Sugar Ray Leonard, and we dreamt that we too could be young and rise to be champions. The problem was that we didn't have a coach, we didn't have a gym, we didn't have the facilities, and we created our own boxing club right from scratch. And our biggest driving force was our desire, to win as young people. As young boys, we wanted to be champions, and we planned for it. We worked for it every single day. We expected to win. We got into the competition. We rolled up, and we in a record 1 year, which was tremendous because we were fighting against very well-established, experienced boxers. And I am using that to show that life is the same. The unfortunate thing is that whenever we conquer one mountain, whenever we win one fight, there will always be a tougher opponent waiting for us. And as young boys, we fought the fight, we became champions, and we lived that dream. The unfortunate, the folks that we started the boxing club with may not have ended up as winning in life, perhaps because they did not consistently apply the disciplines that require you to win the next fight and probably face an even bigger opponent. And so I would say that no, it's not everybody who may be living their dream, who may be winning in life, because it requires that you conquer one mountain and look to the next and be prepared for that next fight, which could be bigger than the fight that you won last.
A very good morning again. This is AM Live and we are hosting a champion this morning. Hey, Mr. David.
Good morning, Sheila.
How are you doing?
Very well.
I think I've shook your hand like 600 times today.
I think so, for the last 30 minutes.
If there was a prize for handshakes, you'd probably be the big champion.
Well, thank you very much.
Now, I've just heard about you through the grapevine, and then one morning I came into work and I found a book titled Champion, and I thought, what book is this? And suddenly I was reading and reading. But your journey started out writer, but as a very simple young man. So who is David? For somebody who's just tuning in and thinking, who is David?
Well, David grew up in the outskirts of Nairobi and was brought up by a single mom who still remains a champion in my life. And as a young person growing up and going to school, we watched champions around us, and some of them inspired us from across the oceans, like Sugar Ray Leonard. And at the age of 10, I determined within me that if such people could make it and make history and rise to the top, coming from obscurity, just like my life was so obscure, so can I. And I jumped into the boxing ring we started a club, and I went through school. In high school, I started a boxing club, took it to the provincial championships, and later on in life, I got into publishing, and just about 4.5 years ago, my dream for writing a book burnt even more brighter. It called me more strongly. And I started writing the book Champion, and it was released just a couple of weeks ago. Right. So in a nutshell, that's David Waweru. I am married, and I have 2 adorable children, both of them in their teens, and yes.
You don't look like you're handling teens at all. You're just looking calm and happy, because a few people I know with teenagers are just thinking, oh my God, another day. Oh no, what are they going to get up to today? But you look calm, you look happy, you look centered. And I want to take you back to the beginning. 10 years old, you see this Sugar Ray man on TV or wherever it is that you were able to see him, and you think, I can do it. Who helped you get into boxing then?
Sheila, you will be surprised that in my school, the boxing club had ceased to operate the last probably 4 or 5 years. And in the social halls, those days, the Nairobi City Council was very, very active. And there used to be inter-social halls competitions around the city. And the social hall, which was very close to me and near my school, Dagoretti High School, is Waweru Social Hall. And there was very little activity on boxing taking place. And we were inspired. Around that time, Kenya was on the rise. We were continental champions. We had people like Napunyi. We had people like Steve Mushoki. We had people like Wangila a little later on, who was to become champion at the Olympics, the only gold medal that we ever got at the Olympics. And so all these acted as local heroes who aspired us to rise up and fight to win. Nonetheless, we didn't have a mentor, we didn't have a coach around us, and a couple of us boys got together and said, look, we shouldn't wait necessarily to have a leader. We can lead ourselves, we can create a club, we can raise the finances, and we can hire a coach ourselves and get to box. And that's exactly what we did. So more or less, we took action based on a dream and based on the inspiration that we saw around us, and of course from a distance, like I mentioned with Sugar Ray Leonard.
All right. Putting all these things together in motion and making them create a future. I bet at that time you didn't think one day you're going to write a book about it. So let's fast forward to today and look back at the lessons that you derived from boxing and that you have put in this book for others who are willing to follow. Lesson 1 in being a champion from what you've learned from boxing.
Lesson number 1 is that you've got to want to win. It's got to start there. You've got to create a vision of yourself in the future, of you raising up your hands and listening to the judgment, the call for the fight, and hearing that you are indeed the winner. There has got to be some compelling desire, some compelling wish, something that draws the most out of you to want to go and get it. And so lesson number 1, and that's what I learned from boxing, it's got to begin there. It's got to begin from a dream. It's got to begin from something you want, and you want it so badly that you can fight for it. You want it so badly that you can make sacrifices for it. You want it so badly that you are willing to prepare for it every single day and develop the disciplines that take you one step closer every day to becoming a champion.
I love that principle. I love that lesson, because if there's one thing I've learned from my own personal experience is I can say I want something 100 times a day.
Absolutely.
But that's just saying it. At the end of the day, if I have not done something to actively do what I want, then I'm just talking. And we've got a generation of young people who are walking around thinking, this is my hustler, we're going to make some money, but then all you do is sit in the store and just holler at the nice pretty girls. You know yourself. I will not mention names, but you have got to actively sacrifice.
Absolutely.
And that's painful.
Well, it is painful, and let's face it, life is, we are in a ring every single day, fighting our own fights. We could be probably in a job, and there are issues around that job. We want to rise, we want a pay rise, we want to be recognized. We could be a single parent, like my mom, struggling every day to put food on the table, to take your kids to school, to give them a decent life. You could be in business and probably staring at very difficult times. Sometimes some people have stared at bankruptcy, and it could be some people who are going through difficult times, seeing their homes go up in flames, seeing their investment completely lost one day, either by a scam or something else. It could be somebody struggling with an illness, and they wonder, why me? It could be somebody struggling with issues of self-esteem, because a lot of negativity was written on their script, on their minds, either at an early stage or along the way. And all of us, life is a fight. That's the fact. But you know what? Life is a fight, but it all depends on us. It depends on the action we take, on the things that come our way. In my book, Champion, there's one thing I'm saying, that we can only we only fail or succeed as much as we ourselves respond to the issues surrounding us.
Excellent. We continue with the lessons from this amazing book, Champion. Oh my gosh, I'm getting goosebumps. I like people who say it like it is.
Yeah.
And you're not sugarcoating anything in this book.
Absolutely
You're saying,
not.
listen, Kitambo, this is going to happen. This is what it's going to do to you.
Absolutely.
So be sure about what you're asking for.
Absolutely.
To tuendelea with those lessons, we are joined, however, by a viewer on the line. Good morning.
Hello, good morning, Sheila.
This sounds like Otoa Zivuda.
Good, you've mastered his voice.
When we talk to you every day, there's no way you can pretend to be anyone else.
Okay. So, Sheila, I want first of all to begin by saying that I want to dedicate over 400,000 KCSE students who are beginning their exams this morning as champions.
Yes.
By virtue that they have come all the long way. Many have dropped out. The journey has been hard, but to them they persevered, and they are sitting for their papers this morning. To me, they are champions.
Agreed.
And I also want to say that I've gotten a lot of inspiration from the speaker in the studio. Mm-hmm. That a champion, Sheila, is known during the times of calamity, not during comfort. I was just reading Abraham Lincoln, and I realized that he had to go through a lot. At one time, selling grocery. At another time, attempting an exam and failing. Sponsoring himself, he failed 44 times before he actually achieved. Mm-hmm. So I think, Sheila, this morning, I want to take pride in the speaker, the student, say that champions are known during the times of calamity and challenge, not during the times of comfort.
Thank you.
Some of us, Sheila, grew up in very hostile environments. We could not even be where we are. And whatever little achievement that a champion gets when he or she has gone through challenge, I always appreciate it a lot, Sheila.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Tom. And the card has not arrived to my students.
Tulia, hello? See, it has to go through the post office. They have to check it. Then they have to see where it's going. It's not an e-card. It's a proper card.
The post office in a car is draconian. You should embrace modern means of sending.
We like cards where you can lick the envelope and then put a stamp. So wait for it. It will come through.
And the melody. You remember the melody, Kitambo?
Wewe. Lakini asante sana.
Okay.
Nice day. Otoa Sifuna, he's a wonderful, wonderful viewer, and he's even come to the show and joined us, and he always participates, and I think he's a champion too. He loves his students.
He's a champion, and he says a number of things that are really crucial, that the only time you pick up a champion from the crowd is when they're in that competition, and usually it is intense. It's not just when life is easy and comfortable, and that's the problem, because life, to a great extent, will always provide challenges to us, and the only time you recognize who the champion is are the people who, like the phoenix, rise from the ashes. They are able to go beyond the norm. They are usually like the outliers who say, I will not be held back by the things that stand against me. I shall rise and I shall become who I really, can become.
Destined to be and what I want to be.
Absolutely, and what I want to be.
Boxing, let's just talk about the punches. One thing I discovered from taking up boxing is you're either there or you're not. There's no way you can say I'm boxing. I'm boxing, because you will be punched till high heaven comes down. You're either present in that moment and aware, or you're not. Would you say this is one of the principles or one of the lessons we can find in this book?
Sheila, you're spot on. Now, during my days, the amateur boxing, it used to have 3 rounds of 3 minutes each. Nowadays, I think it's 4 rounds of 2 minutes each. The length of time was reduced. Now, I can tell you that those 3 minutes or 2 minutes of boxing is one of the most intense moments that I have ever faced in life. Number one, if you do not have the presence of mind within that intensity, if you have not calibrated your mind, regardless of how many blows you receive, for you to stay focused on your target, because you've got to watch their movement, you've got to watch their footwork, you've got to watch their punches, you've got to you basically got to study your target to an extent that you master their next move.
They're going to do.
Absolutely, you can almost guess what they're going to do next, and then be able to respond
and be ready for them. Exactly.
Be ready appropriately. So the presence of mind. And isn't that the same about life?
True.
Because we have so many punches coming our way. Sometimes it is so intense, and it is at that moment that quitters, you get to know who the quitters are. It is at that moment of intensity that some people refuse completely to give up. It is at that point when people develop that tenacity to say, you know what, I am going to fight on.
All right. I love it. There's something else that I don't know if it's an epiphany that's just happened as we talk about boxing and life and spreading the two together. But before I unleash that for part 2 of this book, which we will write together, there's a viewer who's joining us on the line. Good morning. How are you?
Hi, Sheila.
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm good, and you?
I am happy.
Say hi to David.
Thank you very much. Hello to you.
Hi, how are you?
Very well, thank you.
Okay, my name is Susan.
Yes.
Kindly ask David, how would I come out as a champion? I'm a very young widow, feeling like I've come to the end of the road.
Why do you feel you've come to the end of the road? What has life served you that you can't punch back?
Widowhood, Sheila. Widowhood.
After how many years of marriage?
10 plus.
Sorry?
Over 10 years.
Over 10 years. And how many children do you have to look after?
3 kids.
Sorry?
3 children.
3 children.
Yes.
3 children. And how long has it been?
It's just happened recently. It's not been long, actually. Still recovering.
Okay. Pole sana for your loss. But regrouping after life takes something away from you like this, how do you use these principles in this book to come back again? Please stay on the line, Susan.
First of all, I really appreciate that Susan has taken one critical step that's very important, and that I have talked about in Champion in my book. Number one is to recognize, not to run away from the situations in life that have pulled us down, because we need to appreciate and recognize where we are, what is our state now, and when we recognize where we are able to take stock of what are the issues surrounding us, what are the challenges, what are the things that are weighing me down, and what brought me here. So that's quite important to assess where you are. Now, the second thing we need to do is not to stay right where we are, because even when you're driving, you don't keep your eyes focused on the rear view mirror. Otherwise, you will be headed for the crash. When you're driving, you only take glances of the rear view mirror to show you where you're going, but your eyes must be focused on the future that you want to create for yourself. And what I would like to tell Susan is that, I fully understand what she's talking about, because my own mom, when I was only 3.5 years old, separated with my dad, and she broke the three of us up. And, I'll tell you what, the only things that kept me fighting as a young person is having those glimpses of the past and saying, yes, I would not like to, I would like to build a better future for me. And I made a commitment at a very young age when I build my own family. I want to be there for them, and I think that's the kind of thing that perhaps Susan could consider doing. Just recognizing what the issues are today, but number two, creating a desired destination. What kind of future do you want for yourself? What kind of future do you want for your kids? And then in between where you are and where you want to go is, how do I create the path?
So you're working backwards.
Absolutely. You're working backwards. And what this book does, what I have done, is, because I'll tell you what, Sheila, many people probably know what they want in life. They probably even have an idea where they want to go. The challenge is always, how do I move from here to where I want to be? That's usually the biggest challenge.
Yeah.
I would always ask people, like me in my own life, I have consciously sought, my dad was not there, to help me along the way as I grew up as a teenager. But along the way, and up to today, I have learned to work with mentors, people who are more experienced, people whom I respect, people of great wisdom, whom I am able to discuss certain issues in life, and they are able to ask me appropriate questions, not necessarily give me advice, but listen to me and ask the appropriate questions that help me see that there are possibilities of creating new paths in my life, from where I am to where I want to be. What I want to tell Susan is, thank you very much for the courage, for sharing with us. I can tell you that's the first step of a champion, recognizing where you are. What you require now to do is to build a compelling vision for your vision, a compelling vision for your future, a compelling vision for your kids' future. And I'll tell you what, make the first step. Like the Chinese saying, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with only one step. Take the first step and you will be a champion.
Because this match is still going on. It's not over, Susan. The bell has not rang.
It hasn't rang.
It hasn't rang.
And success or being a champion is not a destination. It is the things we do every day, the disciplines we exercise every single day.
Yeah.
The one step we take and another step towards our destination. That is what is success. So long as we are on course, we are on the path to our destiny, we are champions.
Come on. We have yet another viewer who's joining us on the line. Good morning. How are you?
Morning. How are you, Sheila?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
What's your name?
My name is Lucy.
Hey, Lucy. Thanks for watching.
I'm very fine, Sheila.
Okay, I'm saying thank you for watching AM Live.
Yeah, my name is Lucy, Sheila.
Yes.
I really love your show with Kobe and Val.
Thank you. What's your question or comment?
Sheila, I have comment.
Yeah, go ahead.
I really love the show with David.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I really believe that I'm a champion.
Oh.
Why? What have you done that makes you a champion?
I actually believe that I'm only 25 years. And what I've done so far makes me a champion.
Yeah.
Because I trust at 25 years, I'm really working hard, Sheila.
Right.
And I trust everything in God. And I believe in God in everything that I do, Sheila.
Awesome. Oh, okay. She's a champion because she's got faith. And faith is a big pillar.
It is. In one of the chapters in my book...
I'm sorry, I'm just like, you must say something now.
Yes, she said some, two very important things.
Yeah.
Number one is belief. Part of the big problem in Africa, because one of the reasons I wrote Champion is because of my own struggles as a young man. When, just looking at Africa and just seeing the sense of despondency and hopelessness and things that just don't work, and that disturbed me a lot, because I had a sense that we are made for better, and is a continent that is so rich and yet remains so poor, and there's a sense in which we can be conditioned, to just not believe in ourselves, number one.
To just accept things as they are.
As they are, and that reflects to a great extent, because what we think reflects in what we do. What goes into the mind comes out of our life, and it could tell probably why is it that so many people are just average. They never push the envelope, they never go beyond the limit, they just want to do the bare minimum in life, whether that is at work, whether that is anything they do, and at the slightest exposure to resistance, they give up what they are doing. And it's simply because people are conditioned to believe maybe they cannot, maybe they can not be able to, they don't have the self-assurance, the confidence, the courage to take on a fight all the way to a logical end. And what Lucy says is that, look, you've got to have faith. First of all, you've got to have faith in yourself, that you have all it takes. You have the full potential. You have acres of diamonds within you that only you, that's the potential, only you can dig your own garden. And what Lucy is saying, you have faith in yourself. But secondly, is that you have got to have faith in the bigger power. And, the Creator who created us with purpose. He gave us purpose and He gave us potential. And faith plays a great deal. Faith also in your own belief, in your own goal, and in your own dreams. As young people, we believed. We had faith in what we believed. And we ended up starting a boxing club, hiring a coach using our own money, which we worked over the weekends, odd jobs to raise. We believed we would come top of the Nairobi Inter-Social Halls Championships. And if I still remember the title of the stand, one of the dailies, and after we won. Waweru takes the cup, Bilali the glory. Very, very stylish fighter.
Right.
Now, so we achieved it because we had faith in our own goals.
All right. We've got another viewer joining us on the line with probably a question, maybe a comment. Let's find out. Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I am very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Go ahead with your question or comment, Ken.
Okay, I would say a comment for this. I love the show.
Thank you for watching.
I love being the champion. And I would like to say to share the many Kenyans, like, we face many challenges, but unless we define our hand and associate with ourselves with the champions, we'll never make it. I lost my dad at a very high range, and I was left with my mom and my two sisters. I was able to go through education. My mom told me only one thing, that you never go through Arambe to school.
Right.
I have done my master's. I'm now doing my PhD with a business. And I told my God I will never be employed. I went into entrepreneurship. I have started my own business, which is going on well.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping by the end of 2 years I will employ more than 1,000 people.
Oh.
To be a champion, I'll tell many people, is not to sit down and watch people. Is to define where you want to be.
Yeah.
Put target on yourself. I love the book. I would like to have a copy of the book because I like motivational books so much, and I hope I got the shelf of able to get that book because I like reading motivational books, which are from the little people who have really achieved through the hard times.
All right, and this is a Kenyan story.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you.
Hello?
All right, Ken, I tell you what. We're going to give you a copy of this book, and Susan, if you're watching, we're also going to give you a copy of David's book, because honey girl, you're going to make it. You cannot change the fact that your husband is not here, but he wants you to be the woman that he knows you can be. He didn't just marry you because he thought you'd fall apart. No.
Not at all.
No.
No, not at all.
And I think you want to read something?
Well,
what are you looking for?
Yes, I was just going to say that in this book, I have shared real life anecdotes. It's real life stories, not just my own story, but stories of people that have risen from the ashes, moved beyond limitations, and have achieved their highest dreams. We know one of our most celebrated athletes is Henry Wanyuike, who became blind midstream, and something that was a blow that was hard enough to bring his life to a standstill, and yet he has used his blindness around the world to inspire millions of people, showing that regardless of your limitation, you can attain your highest dreams. I have shared stories like, Kimani Maruge Nganga, the octogenarian. He always dreamed that he would go back to school and one day he would become a doctor. And when the previous government announced free primary school education, Kimani went back to school as an octogenarian.
Yes.
And he took his first flight to New York to address an assembly because he refused to be limited by the things around him, and he rose to a level that very many people who have everything going for them have not
get to.
Absolutely.
That's true.
So I have shared stories, shared stories like those, and I'm glad to hear that Ken says, look, I've had limitations in my life, but I say no, they will not hold me back. They will not hold my dream.
And he has a big vision, and he's even incorporating 100 other people in his vision.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for making the time to sit here with us. How many copies are you giving us of this book? Because we must give it out.
Well, I came with 5 copies.
Yay! 5 is a good number.
5 copies.
5 is a good number.
Absolutely.
We are going to give them out, but the book is available and it's on sale.
Yes, the book is available. Textbook Center, Book Point, and many other leading, stores in Nairobi and outside Nairobi. The books are available.
It's available.
Yes.
We are going to post details of this amazing book, Champion by David Waweru, on our social media pages, so you can get in touch with him. So you can also pick up a copy for yourself. And one lesson that I've picked up today is a boxing match is not like a marathon that's 6 hours long or 12 hours long. It's short and sweet, which really is the moral of life. So how many punches are you going to get in, or how many punches is life going to get in on you? It's your choice. But we take a short break and we'll see you next.